you count me in? Countdown.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, right as how we grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound
Pin
of the
message.
trading bell. My heart starts to
Boom.
pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, right as how you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't
I got
miss a
nobody in
single
here.
show. Sign up for the newsletter, right as how we grow.
Portfolio
Taking risks,
pain.
making moves,
Pain.
seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading
Nathan?
podcast in my ears.
The stock market doesn't only go up, Nathan.
Tune in daily, don't miss a single show.
Stock market does go down at times.
Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now.
Morning, Nathan.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for
Hit the thumbs up button. I'm wearing a green shirt today. Yeah. It's that music. Nathaniel, here's the thing. If I told you, say April 1st, why'd everything sell off? Should I buy? And I said yes. And then you come back to me on April 8th and say, you told me to buy. What's wrong with you? And then I come back to you on May 15th and say, nothing was wrong with me. It's just the timeline. What's your outlook? What was your thesis? Did you want to buy and then lose everything? Did you want to time the bottom? Because ironically, you just can't do that. So tech sell-off, let's just look at XLK because that's the tech sector right there. I own a bunch of XLK. And my guess is that there's a gap down here to 257. So I think you're going to see more sell-off. I think we talked about it on Monday. The volume, we talked about it. I think we talked about it yesterday. Monday's volume, there was next to nothing. And yesterday, buyers didn't show up whatsoever. So, as people start to take profits, if buyers don't show up, you're going to have a mass move down, and you're seeing it again today. Tech seems to be selling off again. So we're going to go over a lot. I am not going to do scans today because I don't want people getting into stocks that potentially have a 10% pullback that aren't of value. So typically I like to say, hey, we're going to do scans and we're going to look at stocks, but the quality of stocks matters. And I don't feel like, sifting through and telling you should buy this, you shouldn't buy this. That's for your own research. So we're going to skip scans today. We're going to go over Lowe's because Lowe's had earnings. And let me just make sure. Okay, there we go. Zim's... I don't want to listen to that. What the hell? I'm going to close that out. Zim's earnings, they missed. Wow. Their earnings per share missed by 86%. and they're only down 6%. I mean, that's a shipping company for you. So we're going to go over Lowe's. We're going to go over Target. It's a bunch of retail earnings, and it does kind of tell us a little bit. If you have not heard of a thing called Labubu, it's pretty impressive. Now, I do want to look at Estee Lauder. Do I have a... there we go. We're going to copy that. We're going to put this in here. Okay. We're going to open that one up. We're going to... Oh, this was a good clip from the compound. How long before you guys have to... He was talking to Coinbase. And I think it was just a pointed, perfect question to ask the Coinbase folks. How long before you have to buy stuff? Crypto. It's just, it is what it is. We're going to go over a lot of charts. There's also in NVIDIA. Figma is in focus. We'll talk about NVIDIA. We'll talk about all the IPOs. I'm going to talk about the top second half stocks because there was one yesterday that was up 5%. And it's over 57% in the last month. I mean, it's just, it's on fire. The Mag 7 still seem to be undervalued according to Morgan Stanley. So, we'll look at that. This is interesting. 6 beaten down stocks. There was one yesterday that was up 5.68%. We'll look at that. And we're going to look at the core portfolio, specifically some of the high flyers like Palantir and stuff like that, which have pulled back pretty hard. So where can we find some support? Where can we look at that stuff? Just so you know, and we're going to be using Trendspider, so I'm going to go over it. This new Sidekick thing is freaking awesome. And they now have put out some documentation on it. So I think it's interesting. And no, I don't want to reach 100,000 more people. So we're going to go over all of that stuff. Morning, William, Laura, Rosa, Lisa. What, Big Daddy, what if I told you, yes, it's going down to 40? Does that change your opinion of the stock? Does that make you not want to buy it? Because whatever I think, the market will decide. I don't decide. So do I think it's going to 40? I don't think so. But if that stock's at 40, the market has shown you it can go up to 180. So why wouldn't you buy it? I mean, before it gets down to 40, my thought is people will start buying it before then. If it gets down to, let's see, it's at 152 right now. If that gets to 130, Big Daddy 69, which, by the way, let's talk about your username because it's inappropriate for, and if you walk up to, a cashier and you're trying to get a refund and they say, well, what's your email address? And you say, BigDaddy69@gmail.com. Does that make you turn red? That would make me so embarrassed. But if it gets down to, let's say, 100, are you buying it? Thinking that I think that it could go down to 40, are you buying it at 100? So, Meat stick. Yeah, I mean, Apple doesn't do things that aren't, they're a very careful company. Careful is kind of a good word for it. So I could cause downside, but I don't think so. Penny! Hey, bad girl. That stops it. She loves hearing the bad girl comment. I'm sure Big Daddy 69 likes hearing that. Daddy's girl's been a bad girl. I used to love that line on Howard Stern. Fred used to play that drop all the time. Okay, let me go into it. Before I get like sidetracked into this, we've got a bit of food poisoning going on in my household, so we're going to get started on this. Here we go. Good morning. It is Wednesday, August 20th. It's going to be a chart-heavy program because if you didn't know, we went down yesterday. The market, depending on what your portfolio is invested in, that is going to be where your portfolio wound up yesterday. If you're invested in tech, you're going to feel pain. And this heat map shows it perfectly. There is green over on the right-hand side in consumer defensive, in industrials, in utilities, in real estate, in healthcare. It depends on where you're at because there's big red over here in Broadcom, over here in Oracle, over here in NVIDIA, over here in Coinbase. So there's a lot of red, but there is green. So depending on where your portfolio is highlighted, that's going to determine what kind of pain you felt yesterday. And the markets will have you think, oh my God, we're going towards a downside. Well, at that point, you need to look at the charts. So I just got a question live. Why did tech sell off? Well, let's look at it. This is QQQ. And this is the NASDAQ 100. This is what a lot of my portfolio is built upon. Well, yesterday in the morning, if you wanted to panic, we went below the 9-day on the 4-hour. Did the 4-hour algorithm get you out? No. But that means we've lost confirmation. It was kind of hovering around that 9-day right there. So, the MACD kind of 3-4 points above the oscillator. Not huge. RSI in the morning was at 60. A little bit overbought. Sellers could have shown up. We talked about how on Monday, the volume, there was no volume. So yesterday what happened? Just buyers didn't show up. But let me point out to you the weekly chart, okay? When you're trading long term, you want a longer term chart. So we're going to go over fundamentals of the technical trades here. But when in doubt, zoom out. Remember that saying. Go to a longer term chart. Go to a monthly chart. But here, what do you have? You still have confirmation over that 9-day. Your trend is still intact. It hasn't broken this trend line. But your indicators, and your indicators are important. Figure out which ones you want to do. Your Bollinger Bands, wide open. They're not contracting. They're not telling us that, hey, there's a move coming. But when you're trading at the top of the Bollinger Bands, they want to go to the middle of the Bollinger Band. So down is the likely direction. It's not 100%. No technical trading strategy is going to get you 100%. And then you look at the MACD. What's happened when this blue line has been up this high before? It's come down. The strike line, usually the MACD line needs to cross the strike line, whether it's up or down. Going up on the strike line is bullish. Going down on the strike line is bearish. Then you take a look at the RSI. The RSI was all the way up at 66 on the weekly at the end of last week. So again, this indicated that a likely downturn had to happen. The stock market doesn't always go up. Now, will we be going down to these 2023 levels, which is 258? By the way, this is the downturn of 2022, where we were at 258. And do you think it felt comfortable buying down here? Do you think it felt comfortable buying December 2021? If you thought you were buying the dip, and then all of a sudden you went 50% down from there, 40% down, it may not have felt comfortable. But you've got to identify your time frame when you're buying. If you're buying short term, use a shorter term chart. If you're buying long term, use a longer term chart. Find your entry on the short term chart, but understand that can move. Now, these charts are important, and I want to show you that Trendspider has finally put out some documentation on Sidekick. And this little 5-minute video that Mike did on Sidekick, it is amazing. Now, there are limitations, okay? But they give you some great use examples here. It's got personalities. You've got Warren, the long-term investor. You got a neutral analyst. You got Graham. You got Karen, the skeptic. Then you got Simon, and you got the Redditor, Wall Street Dominator. Now, you'll find Sidekick in Trendspider up here in the upper right, and you can start using it, and they give you your custom system prompts, add your own prompts, and there are limitations, okay? This Sidekick works entirely without internet access. It only accesses Trendspider data. So rather than scraping unvetted sources, ensuring it ensures accuracy and consistency, again, minimal hallucinations. So the key point is, this isn't going scraping data off the internet. It's a trusted data set. It's built for deep analysis rather than broad market searching. So it will get better over time, just like any large language model. But it brings AI directly into your workflow. And it's great. Again, it's amazing. And this comes with Trendspider. There is additional pricing that comes with this. But it is an amazing tool. Go and watch the 5-minute video with Mike. But times like this is why I like the 4-hour algorithm, okay? QQQ, it got you in here at 570. You're trading at 569. Am I going to get out of this? No. I enter when the 4-hour algorithm tells me to. And because I typically buy QQQ for long term. Now, we developed around Liberation Day a Liberation Day strategy. And you can see it got you in here at 514. This one wins 61% of the time. So if you're looking for an entry, then maybe go with this and enter when it tells you to. You can exit when it tells you to, but it does underperform over the last 9.2 years. It underperforms. Remember, Liberation Day strategy, what we were looking for was during this time, we were looking for a time to get back in where we could be assured that a high win percentage would happen. And it did. It gave us May 19th. It wasn't perfect. It didn't time the bottom, but it identified that trend. And boy, was it good, because at 519, you had confirmation the whole way up on this. This is a weekly strategy. So I ask you, which stocks yesterday did you get alerted on? Did you have any set up? Did you have your watch list set up with 5 stocks if they pulled back 5% or more that you bought them? And did you buy anything yesterday? Because it was painful to buy yesterday. I did not. But let's look at some of the core portfolio. If your portfolio was down like mine yesterday, you might expect the VIX to spike. Well, let's go look at the VIX, because I can look at it right here in Trendspider. And we can even run the 4-hour algorithm. When does it tell us to get in? Well, it doesn't work on the 4-hour algorithm. It really doesn't, because you're really not buying the VIX. But it spiked, and right now it's at 15.83. You can see this also on Seeking Alpha. The VIX is kind of a public thing. It's not hidden at all. It's not behind a paywall, but you can see this chart. Now, we talked about it yesterday. The hack is to buy when this spikes above 50. It's not even close to 50. You're at 15. And it was up 3.8% yesterday. It's literally nothing. So volatility isn't driving this market, but we can look at Hood. Hood was down 7% yesterday. It's not currently out of the 4-hour algorithm, but it's damn close. Me knowing the formula, it's damn close. The 4-hour algorithm makes you 811% versus 908%. Buy and hold. But boy, if this starts coming down to that 65 level, which in my mind is a pretty good support level, because that's a previous all-time high in February, and this one has run tremendously. So if it gets down there, boy, aren't you going to be upset if you didn't have a trigger to get out? Make sure you have a get out plan for something like that. A high flyer like that, IBIT, the 4-hour algorithm got you out. It doesn't perform as well as buy and hold. I ignore it. I get in when the 4-hour algorithm tells me to get in. That's my plan, and I am buy and hold on this one. So did I hurt yesterday on this position? Absolutely. Did I worry about it? No. Meta, I bought down here in a big way. Was I listening to the 4-hour algorithm? No. I wanted to establish a position. This one still trades very well at a fairly low multiple considering the cash that they bring in. I'm okay with it. I'm looking for another entry. You go to a weekly on Meta and you're still in that upward trend. So have you broken it? No. But if we pull back, you could be pulling back to 549. Am I going to buy more and during this 700 run? Absolutely. I think the fundamentals are okay. Am I going to hurt? Nobody knows. You can't ask somebody what, is Meta going to go down? And they're giving you opinions. The market knows. Netflix down 3% yesterday. Not out of the 4-hour algorithm, but damn close. It's down a little bit today. It's kind of flat. The big one, Palantir. Palantir got crushed yesterday, 9.35%. Okay? If you had Palantir and you were like, oh my God, I'm losing so much money. Well, the 4-hour algorithm got you out with a 14% gain. The 4-hour algorithm halves the buy and hold. But if you're worried about a 10% downturn in this stock, you got paper hands, because I haven't bought this stock based on the valuation. Valuation finally starts coming to fruition. I heard a great story yesterday, okay? A great, I forget his name, Chris Patel on Twitter. He was having a discussion. I was on Spaces with him, and he was talking about how he shorted Palantir at 180. Good God, how could you short Palantir? He goes on and takes the heat. He's great. He talks about how Carp is aggressive towards any short seller or anybody who says anything negative. He talks about how insiders, we can go and look at the insider sales. Okay, let's go look in Palantir. Look at the insider sales. This has been highlighted in the news that these guys have been selling a lot. Now, of course, they need money and they sell, but those are million dollar sales. 53 million, 53 million, 10 million, 2 million, 5 million. They're not selling 100,000s. And what they do is these are option sales. So they get the stock allocated to them from the company for $10 a share, and then they sell it on the open market, which FYI dilutes shareholders. So it costs the shareholders money. Their sales and marketing has gone up. He brought this up. If boot camps are so successful in bringing in new clients, why are you increasing your sales and marketing? So where would I buy Palantir? Well, depends on your time frame. If your time frame is in the next week or two, start buying under 150. If your time frame is long term, I would wait. Honestly, the 4-hour algorithm wins 52% of the time. Enter when the 4-hour algorithm tells you to. Your average win is 22%. Is it going to continue this crazy upturn? At some point, stocks have to go down. So again, if you have a very long outlook or a short outlook, I think anything under 150 may be your look. For me, I'm just sitting there waiting. The valuation doesn't make sense. Am I willing to put my money into a stock like this or go and get other stocks? For me, I think there's better opportunities out there, but that shouldn't change your opinion. If you are a Palantir bull, that should absolutely not change your opinion of it. And you shouldn't argue with me, because the reality of this is you nor I decides what the price of Palantir is. It is the market as a whole. So you can argue with me all you want. Taiwan Semi. This is a great this is making all the chips. It is out of the 4-hour algorithm, down 3%. you got out with a 1% loss. Now this one, again, halves, buy and hold because we've been in an upward trend. Shopify, I talked about after their earnings. They pumped it all the way up. Well, can you say gap fill? Because that's where it seems to be going. The gap goes down to 128. And by the way, even at 128, you're still respecting this trend line that goes up from the 2022 lows. You're still respecting that trend line. And then the big daddy, NVIDIA. This one was down 3%. The 4-hour algorithm got you out with a 65% gain. Again, MACD, kind of nowhere. RSI, oversold now right before earnings. Are they going to say something? But look at the weekly. The weekly is still stretched. 67 on the RSI. You're 15 points above the oscillator in the MACD. It's still stretched. So in the short term, understand, short term can bounce around and it can stay where it's at or even go lower. So again, the 4-hour algorithm, a great tool during times like this. How do you get it? You go over to my link tree. It's the top link. You get to Trendspider. It's $50 a month. Sign up for an annual plan. It's $50 a month. This will help. It helps me protect me from the downside because charts have no opinions. There are no opinions in a stock chart. It is 100% fact-based. The indicators don't give you opinions. They give you a fact. The RSI, it gives you facts. The trend lines, they give you facts. And then you've got Sidekick, which can throw up some additional stuff. Some other active stocks that I track. SOFI, down 3%. Most likely out in the algorithm. Okay? It's probably going. The weekly RSI, if we look at a weekly on this one, the RSI is up at 71. They're extended. These are people locking in profits. AMD was down 6%. 6%. 4-hour algorithm got you out in the afternoon. 81% gain. We've talked about this one. The valuation is a problem with this. Where is it going? Well, ironically, it's sitting right at that 164. Where's that 164 from? It is from the 2021 highs. And you've been able to break it a couple of times. It has provided resistance and it sits there for a couple of weeks and then it takes a turn down. So is that what we're looking at? Very likely, maybe. But I don't know. Again, I am not going to give you a fact on this one. Stock downturns happen. So the 4-hour algorithm for me, it takes emotions out of any decision. The price is all that matters. And when the algorithm tells me to get out, and I've defined that as a trade, I get out. Now, some of the reversals in the charts. Intel went up. This was up 9%. 9%. It's down 1% today. 4-hour algorithm got you in here at $20. You could have taken some nice profits yesterday at $26. That's a huge gain. Uber defied logic and went up. Uber went up 1%. I've said it before, it's a $100 stock. I said it before, get it under 90 because when it goes to 100, that's a pretty damn good gain. Walmart went up. I said it before, and I put this in there. 105 is the resistance level, but it was going to be a $100 stock when it was down here at 96. 4-hour algorithm got you out right before their earnings. 5% gain. Again, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. 5% in a market like this is still okay in that short of time. That averages out to be a huge yearly gain. If you can put that in a month or so, a huge yearly gain. Simon Property Group, part of the core portfolio. Again, this one was up 1.5%. 4-hour algorithm got you in at 169. You're at 174 right now. And they have a 5% dividend. But if you're looking at this dividend, I would argue, here's a great article from Steve earlier in the week, Steve Kress from Seeking Alpha. And he put this one out. Well, one of the stocks that he goes over that's beaten down is Host Hotels. I was looking at this one because I don't want to trade Simon Property Group up at its all-time high here where it's kind of flattened out. I want something with an opportunity. And Simon Property Group, by the way, if we go and look at this up, it's a strong sell in the quant. Why? You can learn why if you want it. But I like Simon Property Group for its 4.92% dividend yield. But it is trading near its high. And Wall Street only thinks that it's worth 183, which is only 5% upside. Host Hotels is totally different. They have very good valuation, very good growth, very good profitability. It's a strong buy in the quant. Wall Street thinks it's worth $18, which is 13% upside. And it's got an even better yield at 5.58%. So again, that's how you use the tools. I like this one. This one is on a watch list based on Steve's article of 6 beaten down stocks ready for a rally. Again, I like it. I picked my winners. Now, Palo Alto Networks. We talked about that one. That reported earnings. They were fantastic. It was up 10% in pre-market. It wound up the day up 4%. I think it fills the gap up to 193. Just my position is that once this gets to 200, I'm looking to sell. Eli Lilly, which is also in the core portfolio, was up slightly. It's back over $700, up 1.7%. And FYI, it's got a gap here to 742. And then you've got a gap up here all the way to almost $900. And the MACD, low. Let's look at the weekly. Has it reset? Yes. We've been trading sideways. So the opportunities are out there. The biggest position in my portfolio is Apple. Okay? Apple was essentially flat. The 4-hour algorithm got you in. It's had a nice 7% gain here in just a week or two. I think it's up 11% in the month of August. And then this article, the mega caps are the most under-owned in 16 years from Morgan Stanley. Maybe these aren't so overvalued. So again, I like it. Oh, one other in the core portfolio is Berkshire. Okay, this one went up when Warren bought United Healthcare last week. And we're seeing it. Is this bounce? Because Berkshire is considered a very defensive ETF. You've got a gap up here to 537 in a pretty damn good stock. So again, if you can go over here to market data and you can look at these U.S. equity sectors, and you can see there wasn't a lot of red yesterday. There was a lot of green. It was technology down 1.75. It was communication services down 0.56. Okay? But then when you do year to date, look, it's industrial, communication sectors, utilities, and technology. And over 1 year, it's communications, discretionary services, financials, and technologies right in the middle of the pack. So it just went down. But again, choose these sectors. I am heavily into XLC. I think it. No, where's the consumer discretionary? XLY. There it is. XLY and XLK are the two. Now XLY. Over 1 year, it's up 23%, but year to date, it's only up 2%. It's only up 2%. Technology's up 12%. So understand the sectors of the stocks that you own. Because one that I said at the beginning of the year was XLF. This one is a great one. Yeah, over 1 year, it's up 19.52%. That's really, really good. Because the S&P over 1 year is up 14.33. If your sector's not beating the S&P, then you've got to ask yourself, why not? And one of the top 5 stocks, okay? These are the top 5 second half stocks. One of these stocks was up 5% yesterday. It's up 57% in the last month. Remember, this list was announced on June 15th. So you absolutely could have bought this stock and you'd be up over 57%. It just turned again to a strong buy. So it was a buy. It turned again to a strong buy after a huge earnings beat with a gap up, and it's continuing to climb. Get the list here. You can get this list with a free 7-day trial to Seeking Alpha Premium. How do you get that? Go to the link tree. I always suggest you get the bundle, which includes Alpha Picks. But if you just want to get this complete list of top 2025 stocks, get a free 7-day trial. Go over to Linktree. Okay, you want the bundle? It's the second link. You want just the trial? It's the third link. Go and investigate. Again, find the opportunities that are out there. Now, let's look at the IPOs. I have said this many times. I don't like doing IPOs other than trading. Okay, let's look at some stock charts of recent IPOs. Figma. Crap. Look, when were you trading this one? Because it's been crap since the IPO. Bullish, which is the Peter Thiel one, crap. Look at it since its IPO. Okay? Then you've got CoreWeave. Crap since its IPO. It's up, but it's only up there. Since they opened up the selling, and this one has gone a little bit longer. Since they opened up the selling, crap. People have been selling this one. Circle. Not great. I mean, for a stable coin that brings in that amount of money, it IPO'd too high. I would continue to see this one slide in my mind. And then Chime, which is a financial one. Chime Financial. Again, opened up, down that way. But analysts are starting to take a look at some of these. And Figma, which is specific, it was down 8% yesterday. But now you've got modeling out there, okay? You've got Piper Sandler comes out and says, you know what? We like this stock. We like this stock, and we think it's worth $85. It's trading at 70 right now. Remember, the models are highly advanced models that take earnings, it takes the stock price, it takes everything in the market. You can't get these types of things until you start trading in the market. So now Figma has an actual price target. It's not covered by the quant. They don't have Wall Street coverage on it. This was the first one that came out. But that's why I don't like IPOs. And now that the IPO market is out there, you can see it. Now, I want to talk about NVIDIA because last night I was watching a Carter Worth. He is who they call the chart master on CNBC. Okay? He said all trends point to NVIDIA going down. He mentioned support right around that 140, which, by the way, I have pre-identified on my chart. The 4-hour algorithm has you out. Now, the question is, do you take all this technical knowledge that you have, okay, or that you gain, and do you sell it? That is for you to decide. I am putting it out there. You have earnings coming up next week. Do you sell it? Now, before you go and throw cold water on charts and you say, charts don't tell me anything, I want to show you just what I said last week when I bought UNH. I said 316, draw a line. That is going to be resistance. Look, 316.40, the high. 314.64, it starts to go down once it hit 316. Charts work. Just remember, this stock got this pump from Warren Buffett buying it, but they are still under DOJ investigation. Now, I want to bring up another stock to you, BTG, because yesterday UBS raised their forecast for gold. This is a gold company. Could this be ready for a breakout? Well, it's up 1.33%. Again, the buy for the 4-hour algorithm was down here at 348. The 4-hour algorithm beats buy and hold. It wins 48% of the time. In a market like this, you can take a stock like this and say, you know what? It's kind of trading sideways a little. It just broke through the 200-day. It's not at its all-time high. Now, we've got some volume interest in this. Does this volume interest spike down, causing the price to go down? All the fundamentals, go and research it. I like this one. Now, crypto, I thought this headline was crazy. Crypto extends decline as investors shed riskier assets. I didn't know crypto was freaking riskier assets right now. Crypto for me is a buy and hold. And yes, it's pulling back. And if you want to know why I'm big on crypto, this is an interview during the Compound with Josh Brown and Coinbase executives. And this is why I like buying Hood, why I like SOFI, and why I like Coinbase. And I own Coinbase. This is part of the reason why. Because everybody wants an all-in-one financial app, and Coinbase is trying to do that. So when do they actually start buying some of the brokerage people? Because Coinbase has a ton of money that they can do that with. Now let's talk about earnings, because earnings are driving this market as well. Estee Lauder, they warned about tariffs. It killed the stock. Killed the stock. Remember, this is Michael Burry. This is the Big Short dude. The valuation, it's still expensive. Even though, you know, this stock price is down, let's see, year to date, it's up 19%, but over 5 years, you're down 57%. This one, not my thing. I'm not into beauty. But if you want to trade it, let's just look at where you might be able to trade it. Well, 4-hour algorithm just got you out of a 57% gain. Then it got you out with a little slight loss. Okay? 4-hour algorithm actually, it loses you money, but it does better than buy and hold over the last 2 years. And boy, if you thought this one was too cheap at 56 and you bought it, you nearly doubled your money. Nearly. 57% gain. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now let's talk about one of the retail winners, Labubu. This is the Party City, Party Mart, something around that. Pop Mart International. And it's a Hong Kong traded Chinese stock. But this Labubu craze is crazy. This article goes over Walmart, Amazon, Hasbro, Mattel, some of the stocks that might actually participate in the Labubu phenomenon. So go and see if you want that. Now, I wouldn't say Pop Mart International. I wouldn't say go and trade this one. This one's on the Hong Kong market. You can't get access to it from any known, like, large retail trading platform like Fidelity and stuff. So I wouldn't go after it. Again, just my thing. But if you want to, go have at it. Now, Target, everybody who said, well, Target's got to come back up. It was doing so well. I don't shop at Target. And we've pointed out that red line right there, that's just a weekly downturn if you were to come back to that trend line. But what happened? The CEO is leaving. Now, I don't think that, again, the Q2 earnings that they weren't bad. They were better than the bad expected. I mean, they were so far down. And they didn't beat them. They just kind of squeaked into them. And then you take an unproven CEO and you put him in here. It's just bad. It's just bad. Then you got Lowe's rallying because they boosted guidance. Again, good companies, good profits, good products, and good management. That's your recipe for everything. So where are we going today? Lord knows. The market's picked back up a little bit. It looks like it's kind of flat. Again, most likely waiting for Jerome Powell. So if you're just sitting on your hands and doing nothing, it's not a bad thing. I don't think that the market has turned. I think tech has turned. Should you worry? Probably not. But I wouldn't, personally, I'm not doing anything until Jerome Powell speaks. If he doesn't make mention of rate cuts, that's when we have a problem. Until then, I'm kind of just sitting on my hands. Again, I bought Ethereum. I'm down on that one. I bought one of the crypto miners. I'm still up on that one. I bought Ethereum. I bought Bitcoin. I'm down on some of my most recent buys. But again, most of those are long-term perspective. I have a thesis on them. The Bitcoin miner, I'm sitting there waiting for their earnings, which is coming up next week. And I'm okay doing it. I have a theory, and I put that out there to the newsletter subscribers. Again, it's out there in the chat if you want to go in the chat and look for it. But if you have any questions, you can hit me up. Again, remember, Trendspider, $50 a month. I suggest the Seeking Alpha Premium and Alpha Picks bundle. And if you don't know what Alpha Picks is, it's a portfolio. It's a data-driven portfolio. It is a buy and hold. I got this question. Is it a buy and hold? Absolutely. You get one buy on the 1st and the 15th of each month. And then they tell you when to sell. And it's not like they're selling every freaking day. I don't think we've had a sell order for like 2 months now. And it's a rules-based portfolio. So they sell based on the quant status. And it outperforms the market. Look at the performance. 210% versus the S&P up 70%. So if you have any questions on any of this stuff, you can hit me up on social media. You can just reply to the email that you get from the newsletter every day. I am available. What I won't do is tell me what you think about this stock. If I don't own the stock, that's your opinion from me. But does it matter? No, because I've missed out on plenty. Robinhood, missed out completely. Still don't own this one. Palantir, missed out completely. Sold out at 25. So if you're going to ask me my opinion, just know I am wrong many, many times. The goal is for you to do your research, put your hard-earned money into a risk that you want a reward from. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Okay, talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, let me put this into iMovie. Wah, wah. By the way, I guess the song is becoming annoying again or I'm growing my show, one or the other, because I'm getting, oh my God, that song, it just makes my ears bleed comment. I love the song. It is never changing. So I pretty much write back, F you. Do, 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 do. I'm going to take that out. Probably should lower the volume as well. And I've got a back pain coming here. So I've got to get out of this chair. I do have Walmart shrimp. Ironically, I bought it yesterday, but it's not the peel kind. Good for you, Lisa. I think Google's a great buy. Larry. You've owned Hasbro that long. Has Hasbro been a good stock to hold since it was Milton Bradley? Is that a long term? I mean, it did well. But boy, that's been a tough one to hold. Yeah, I think the song it's awesome. The song is the main reason. I think the song's the best part about it. I think once I come on, it's like the low point. Dude, hey, I'm putting out good vibes wearing a green shirt today. Waiting on pound to change. I gotta do what's the title? I think I had Perplexity change the title. I already have comment, so I guess they opened it up to everybody now. The comment browser. Okay, let's go to Canva. And it's going to be pain. So let's say. Let's do this one. Let's do. I'm not a short guy, Dominic. I couldn't. I mean, do I think it's going back to 40? I think there's going to be a lot of buyers that start buying that before it gets to 40. Let's see. No. There's a lot in here. Okay. We're going to just take these. Upload. Let's do. We talked about Robinhood. Uploads. Let's just take which ones we did. We talked about Figma. Celestica, Constellation, Coinbase I talked about. United Healthcare I talked about. Uploads. Robinhood I've got. Vistra, Rigetti, IONQ. To Spotfiy. Algo, Rocket Lab. Zoom, Snowflake, Walmart I talked about. Lily I talked about. And uploads. Wells Fargo, Rivian, Tesla, Micron, Broadcom, Oracle, CrowdStrike, GameStop, Palo Alto I talked about. Put that one over there. It shows up better over there. Shopify I talked about. AMD I talked about. Uploads Meta talked about. To Amazon. NVIDIA and Palantir. Let's just say what? We're going to take this. Okay. Uploads. My Palantir logo. There it is. And I need one other logo. I think Uber I talked about. So we'll put Uber down here. Okay, and uploads, we'll put in Seeking Alpha. And Trendspider. And make me a little bit bigger. And we're going to take these. Download. Okay. Ride the trends until they break. Yeah. Everybody misses out on money, Nathan. I mean, I can't. Warren Buffett has missed out on so much money. I mean, Warren Buffett has billions of dollars in Occidental Petroleum. And let's take a look at that one. Would you have, I mean, he's still got his buys from up here in 60 and 70. Is it his worst trade? Nope. But you take something like that and put it against something like Robinhood, which is a growth stock, which, you know, he would never buy. It doesn't hit his thing. But, I mean, seeing that trend, that's the type of stock that I think in his early days he probably would have gone into. Seeing the trend, seeing everybody using that. So let's see where the Webull account is. The Webull account, then I'm going to go, is at, it's flat, 13.4. 13.4. So, and again, my point is, markets don't go straight up, and that they don't do what they've done since April. So, in my opinion, I think yesterday was very healthy. I think it's a good thing. I like it. Okay, I'm out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trade. hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.